Good morning. I reveal to you my sweet culinary experiment. Sometimes what we do is we unpack our favorite yummy things from a shop and we attempt to recreate them exactly the same way, though they usually turn out even better and tastier. You recognize these things? Donuts. Sweet glazed donuts spruced up with fancy sprinkles. You can buy them in confectionery stores, bakeries, supermarkets. Kids go crazy over these. Watch how you can make them yourselves with your own hands. Here I have some donuts from a shop. Look here, we have this one, handsome devil, this one too. So what is there to them? Well, it's pretty clear. They look festive, yummy. They have loads of sprinkles on, and they're greasy. Let's break it in half. Look, there's cream inside too. You see? What do I like here? Well, as for sponginess, I for sure would. I know that when we make them ourselves, they'll turn out spongier. Yeah, well, it's a good, weighty, greasy donut. Tasty too. Let me see if this one's no cream in it. Nah, this one's filled with caramel cream. But the thing is, if a donut is airy, fluffy, and fresh, then there is no need for cream at all. At first glance, you'll be saying there, no, there's no way I could make one myself. You can. Easy peasy. Follow me. Basically, the dough is actually very easy to make. The main thing is to get these ingredients, and you almost always follow them exactly. The same recipe. So we need flour, milk, eggs, sugar, some butter, some instant yeast, and vanilla sugar. And we start off with this kneading machine. Actually, you can just knead the dough by hand. Things will turn out perfectly fine. But if you do have this machine with a hook like this, it'll make life faster for you. We add the flour to the bowl, and then I need to add the yeast right here, some sugar, and vanilla sugar. Yep. Yeah, it's a high-calorie snack. Yeah, it's tasty and insanely greasy. You can get really fat on these donuts. But, you know, making donuts and treating yourself now and then, it's well worth it. First off, I'll mix the dry ingredients together real quick. And right now, watch closely. In order to speed up the yeast, I'm going to need some milk. It's actually quite cold. It's from the fridge. That's why it needs to be slightly heated up. So we'll throw some butter straight into the milk here. And then we just place it over really, really low heat. But definitely don't overheat it. I just put it on to heat it up slightly, just so it warms up a little and the butter melts down. Then I'm gonna add the milk and butter to the dough. And also make sure to add a pinch of salt. A donut is actually the same thing as ponchik over here. The hole in the middle is what sets it apart. It's just that in America, they would never deep fry the dough, for example, just to top it with powdered sugar. There's cream and glaze and stuff like that. Butter is already melted. Now looky here, you see the milk? I'm dipping my finger in it. It's only slightly warm. Don't ever let your milk overheat, ever. Next up, open the lid of our super mixer and pour the slightly warm milk there. Done. Shut the lid and start mixing. And also, we'll add a couple of eggs there. There's one. And two. When I worked at a New York restaurant doing our kind of cuisine, I'd go out in the morning and they'd be selling donuts nearby. A couple of times I went there, bought a coffee, and I realized that there were only overweight people waiting in line. You think, damn it, I mean, like, you're already really overweight and still waiting in line to buy such a high-calorie thing. They'd eat 5 of them with a coffee and be on their way. And I could feel that something was up. A couple of times I went there to just try them out. Well, it's just tasty, you know, a coffee and a cream donut in the morning. The choice is huge. There's strawberry ones, mint-flavored ones, chocolate ones, nutty ones, anything you can imagine. Like, there's a billion chocolate ones. You wouldn't eat them every day, though. Now look, let's take out the dough. You see, it's actually quite thin. It's not dry. It's not super thick. Yeah, it's not too soft either. Now you just knead the dough like this. Keep on kneading it like this. Right. If I'd kneaded it by hand, then, well, in fact, I'd have done it faster than the machine. Okay, finished. Take a look at what the dough is supposed to look like. It's warmish. You see, it's kind of oily. It's elastic. You know, it's like you can really feel that the dough has a lot of potential to rise. I'm gonna put it somewhere warm. The dough's going to rise, and it's gonna be dough-tastic. Now watch me. Grab some sort of saucepan or just some kind of container. Pour some warm water into it, not boiling and not hot, because if you do, the dough will cook in there. Then we take the bowl with the dough, place it right there. By doing that, you see, we create some sort of evaporation from beneath, and the dough gets kind of warm. Then we can cover it with a towel and let the dough rest. Wait for an hour. In an hour, the dough's gonna puff up, and we can start making our donuts. An hour later, look at what we have. Look, there you have it, the dough. Look at how much it's puffed up. Ah, it's like a cloud. It smells of yeast. It's so pretty, just like it should be. Right. But the dough, you guys, it has to puff up really good. If it doesn't for some reason, well, it means something's wrong, you know? Because the very fluffiness of the donuts is achieved through this good and spongy yeast dough. Look how it's changed. Oh, look at it. You see that? Fantastic. Now carefully, let's take it out, just like this. Next up, you guys watch me take some flour, dust a bit of it over the table, just a bit of flour. Put the dough on the table, just a smidge of flour on top of the dough. Aha, grab a rolling pin. We gotta roll the dough out into a large sheet, just like this here. Now, if you're browsing in a shop, you can find these special, like, pastry cutters to make your ponchiks with, or donuts. What you get is this ring with a hole in the middle. I'll show you how it's easier to do them at home. You need something like a tube, like this one. You could use something like a shot glass or like a snifter, stuff like that. Get a big one, too. Next step, we cut our shapes. So first, we cut out a circle. You see, it's round. Then in the middle, make ourselves a little hole. Done. Moving on. Boom. It's gorgeous, right? Of course, later on, the dough is going to rise just a bit. And then, as you deep fry it, it's going to really puff up. But anyway, do your best to make sure that everything is more or less even. Next, you peel off the dough. Wow. After we take out the holes, since it's yeast dough, we do the same thing we do with the piroshki. Like, I already kneaded it, so it's kind of deflated now. We need these ponchiks, donuts, to puff up just a little bit. And that's why you take these donuts in the making and cover them up with a towel for a bit, not to let them dry out. They're warm and cozy in there. They're going to rise a little bit on their own, and then we'll deep fry them. As for the dough I have left over, I'm going to do some kneading. Just like this. Going to knead it some more, just like that. Next up, we cut it out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're done here. Right, let's cut out a hole. Yep, done. Now just cover the dough with a towel as well. Leave it alone and let it rest and hang out. I'd say for about 20 minutes. The yeast's going to start working again soon. The donuts are going to rise a bit, and we can deep fry them. In the meantime, let's heat up some oil. Oil, just regular vegetable oil, pour it in there. The main thing to remember is that you can't ever deep fry your donuts in oil that's too hot. Otherwise, they'll burn while still being uncooked inside, and they won't puff up properly. So keep that in mind. Take a look at how the donuts are rising. Yeah, let's sneak a peek. See, look at them. Look how fluffy they're getting. They just keep on rising and rising. And the longer you keep them there, the fluffier they're going to get. And as a result, the fluffier they're actually going to turn out. The butter's heated up to the right temperature. Okay, let's do an experiment on one of these. I'm going to take the fluffiest one. This one here. Be gentle now. I'm going to use a knife to scoop the fluffiest one and plop it right in. Plop. There, look, it's starting to rise straight away. You see, it keeps on rising, rising, and rising, and it's all because of the temperature. And it's crucial that the temperature isn't too high. Easy does it. You see how puffy it's getting. Look at this. Look at how it's happening. Oh, right before our eyes. It's incredible. There. Be gentle. Remember to just leave the dough alone for a little while. If you give it too much, it'll deflate, and it won't rise the way it's supposed to. We need to keep all that fluffiness, that sponginess. Now look. This one's ready. Flip it over. Done. You see that it's too dark? You just take it off the heat, and that's it. What I mean is, you control the temperature of the deep fryer. Because the thing is, you can't really catch the right moment here. You really can't. Now we go like this. Flip it over. Super. First off, deep fry them on both sides. Then lay them out on a napkin to let the extra fat drain off. Voila. Now this one is more interesting, right? It's a little bit paler. Ready? Ah, it's so puffy, it's gorgeous. Now this is important. When you pick up the dough, you really shouldn't squeeze it too much. Just be gentle with it. Just be really gentle. Just like that. You pick it up, and then what you do is plop it right here. Plop. You see, the less you touch it with your hands, the less your dough deflates, and the more puffed up they're gonna turn out. Now, these little guys are done. They're so fluffy. That's just what we need. You see, we now have this white line here on the donut. It's a quality mark for a good donut. It's because as we deep fry it, it starts rising. Flip it over, it keeps rising some more. This line, like from the center, goes whoosh, it expands. It doesn't deep fry though. If there is a white line around your donut, it means that your donut is fluffy and awesome. In all the good places where they serve donuts, there's always the white line around them. Ours have it too. Let's test one donut. You hold it in your hand and it's supposed to feel light as air. It's resting on my hand, see? But I can feel that it's actually really light. It simply means that it's spongy. There's no thick dough. That's the stuff. What I'm saying is the dough's gotta be fluffy. It's the mark of a quality donut. Now they need to cool down a bit, but what's the main thing about a donut? Guys, powdered sugar. No, those are the local ones.
The glaze.
The glaze, that's right. A beautiful glaze with some fancy stuff sprinkled right on top. Let's get to it. I could make different types of glaze, but I'll make one. Just chocolate. It's classic, delicious. To do that, we need a water bath. Now put the saucepan on, heat it up, grab a bowl, break up the chocolate. Okay, now let it heat up. You can make any type of glaze that you like. I prefer this good old method, which is melting a chocolate bar and using it for dipping. Also, because I like chocolate the most, and I believe that a chocolate donut's just what the doctor ordered. In different shops, you often come across chocolate bars that, after you melt the chocolate, it gets a thick and dense texture. Look at that. That's what it looks like now. I've got a super trick of the trade. You can just take a small amount of vegetable oil, just a splash of it like this, and then add it to the melted chocolate. We do it simply for the consistency. It's so that your chocolate isn't too thick, so it has the right texture, glaze-like. Yeah, awesome. Loads of chocolate. Now we're going to cover the donuts. It's going to be super yummy. This guy. Sometimes treating yourself to such a high-calorie, pretty and yummy thing is worth its weight in gold. Mental health is sometimes more important than physical. All right, here goes the first one. Donuts, let's go. Grab it, dip the fluffiest and most beautiful side in the chocolate, give it a twist, pick it up, lay it out, let it dry out. Whoa, what a beauty, huh? Let's go, chocolate, dip it. Pick it up, drain off the extra chocolate, flip it over. The chocolate's still kind of hot, so it's spreading evenly over the whole surface, becoming really smooth. Next one. Isn't it awesome, guys? What do you think? Perfect.
Yeah.
Flip it over, lay it out. If there's some kind of celebration or a party coming up, a kid's birthday party or something like that, you can make different types of glaze. If you have the time and opportunity, you make colorful glaze. You could just, mix some egg whites with lemon juice till the texture is thick enough, and then do the dipping. Buy ready-made glaze, make white chocolate glaze, white glaze. So anyway, feel free to experiment any way you'd like. Get creative with the sprinkles as well. Oh, and you know what else? There are donuts that get decorated with some fresh fruit. Lots of people think that it's healthier with fruit on. Now onto the sprinkles. Don't overdo it with the sprinkles. Just a teeny amount. Don't sprinkle too hard. Ah, look, what a beauty, right? Damn right. That looks festive. When there are too many sprinkles, it might actually ruin the taste. When you keep taking bites, you keep tasting the sprinkles. So there are always limits as far as sprinkles go. We've got the classic colors here, am I right? They look like they're from some kind of American roadside poster. Now, a little bit of the blue ones. So much color. You could decorate it like this. Look, some fresh berries. Perfect. The glaze needs time to cool down. Then after a while, it's going to harden anyway. Or you can just put them in the fridge. They'll harden up in there. Here are the donuts from a shop, and here are mine. You can see that they're handmade. They're fresh and sparkling. They're like, well, they look superb. All right then. Ladies, come on, dig in. Who else wants to try the donuts with me? Nastya, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Anyone else? Please, help yourself. Which one do you want?
They all look so good.
Take any of them. Come on. Here, take this one. Yeah, classic one. I'll have one too. So?
Oh.
Oh, look, yours has got a hole. That's cool. Show it to the camera. Come on, come on. Show it to the camera. You know what that space is for? For cream. It's kind of cool. They puffed up so well.
It's delicious. So fluffy.
Mine doesn't have a hole. Do you actually like donuts?
Love them.
What would you say about these ones?
Oh, they're better than the shop ones.
Better than the shop ones, obviously.
It really melts in your mouth. And, chef,
Yeah?
you blew me away again. They're awesome.
Of course.
Well, the experiment, it's a success.
Now, what do you say to the viewers?
Try out our recipes, and your dishes are going to turn out just as awesome and delicious.
That's right.
Ah!
Well done. Had an urge to do it. Go on. Anyway, these are tasty donuts. Try them out and enjoy. To make the donuts, you need flour, sugar, milk, butter, yeast, vanilla sugar, 2 eggs, milk and dark chocolate, blueberries, sprinkles, and vegetable oil. Cheap and easy to make.